Well, we all love to watch TV. You're doing it right now. Our next guest is here to tell us about her rising career as an actress, comedian. Welcome to the show, Renee Santos, all the way from New York, Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. We've been sitting here chatting for a few minutes, and you're a crack up, so it's obviously a natural talent for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, of course. So what do you uniquely bring to comedy? Let's start with that.
You know, I think I sort of have variety elements to my comedy act. I'm more of a storyteller, not as much setup punch. I play guitar. If I have a lot of like physical content, if a joke calls for me to like do a back handspring, I will. It's bad when I have like a 4x6 stage. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna need a little more space.
Something tells me you still get it done though.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a bit about your representation as far as the LGBT community and how that all ties in.
I'm very transparent about who I am. I think stand-up comedy is very much like a caricature of our idiosyncrasies and our human folly. And so I feel like I can't get up there and not represent who I am. And when I first started doing comedy, I was apprehensive to bring that to the table. But I thought, because I didn't want to be the LGBT comic, I didn't want that to be my only voice, but I realized it's an important voice to have. And the best thing that we can do is just show up as our authentic selves. And what I've realized over the years is that LGBTQ looks different and it sounds different, and I think it's important for people to know that I'm queer and that I identify this way, but it's not all that I am. But it's also an important voice to be heard right now. I think it's one of the larger oppressed groups in our society, and a lot of that comes from the lack of transparency. And so it's important for me to be of service to my community by letting people know that I'm not ashamed to share who I am.
I love it. That gave me goosebumps right there.
Thanks.
The word authentic really sums it up, you know, and you're staying true to yourself. So we love you.
That.
We love that. We love you. Let's talk about how tough it was to get into the business for you and for everybody. Was it?
It is. You know, it is a tough industry to pursue because it's one of those industries where it seems like a lot of people are doing it, and we were given a script that just isn't accurate of how to pursue this thing. And one of the things that no one told me to do was to create my own content. And so I stumbled a lot because I was waiting for somebody else to give me a voice. And I think that's a mistake, to just stay in this audition hustle. And but once I created my own platform, I was able to break in. I pretended, I opened a bank account one day and somebody told me, open a bank account as a professional comic and the universe will show up for you. And that's kind of how I started pursuing my career. I just pretended I was an actress and a comic. And I realized that, like, if I don't affirm that I'm aspiring to do this thing and I just say I'm doing it. Like,
wow, that gives a whole other meaning to fake it till you make it. Because you're embodying it, you're doing it.
Yeah, and then instead of walking into the room with that desperation of, can you give me an opportunity to have a voice? You're like, here's my voice. I'm sharing it with you. You want it or you don't want it.
I'm learning a lot from you. Young and smart. All right, so tell me this. What's next?
Young.
What's next for you in the future and the next year to come?
I live in New York right now, and but I'm going to make my way back to Los Angeles in early 2020. So my album just came out last year. It's called Outside the Box. So I'm going to tour with my album next year and kind of make my way east to west with the album. So my team and I are kind of pursuing venues as I make my way across the country, and I'll land in LA next year.
I love this. I can't wait to follow your career, and you should do the same. To learn more about Renee and to follow her career, as we just mentioned, make sure to check out her website. A big thanks to Renee for being here. We're going to get you back on the show once you move to LA in 2020, and we'll see you after the break.